guys, it's Josie, and today I have a book review for you. I'm going to review Empty by Suzanne Weyn. Now this is the first book that I have read by Suzanne Weyn, and I'm not sure what to compare it to because neither do I read science fiction, nor have I read anything else by Suzanne Weyn. So I kind of went out on a limb with this book. I love the cover of this book. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I'm not sure what this stuff is around the edge, but the main focus of the cover I really liked. This book is very interesting. This book is set 10 years in the future, but you don't know when the 10 years in the future is, and it follows 3 kids in a world where the oil supply is depleted, and it's severely depleted. I'm talking $90 a gallon gas. And it follows 3 kids named Tom, Gwen, and Nikki. Now, they're all living their 3 different lives, but they kind of intertwine at the end. Now, Gwen is a high school senior whose mother has run away on her, and she is living her life in a house with her older brother, Luke. And they live by Luke's illegal activity because Luke has ways of selling things on the black market and obtaining things and just doing things illegally. And you will see in this book something happens due to that. I'm not going to say what, but something happens that's, you saw it coming, but you're just like, that's kind of stupid. You shouldn't have done that. Anyway, then we have Nikki. Nikki lives in the upper class. She is wealthy. Her dad is a stock trader in the New York stock market where this book takes place. It takes place in New York State, not New York City, New York State, in a smaller town named Sage Valley. But anyway, back to Nikki. Nikki is in the upper class. She's always had everything she wants. She's always dressed in the best clothes and the best looks, and she's very picky. And she's not really aware of what's going on around her because she knows I can still get oil. My family still has electricity. So what's the problem? So when all her world starts to fall apart, she starts to realize that she's not going to get everything for the rest of her life. And all she's focused on is a boy or boys in the book. And so you have to kind of figure out the romance in this, which I thought was kind of clever, adding a little bit of romance into this very thought-provoking book. But I guess that's what the world is going to come to in 10 years in the future. All we care about is romance. Then, lastly, we have Tom. Tom is in the middle class. Tom is not poor, he's not rich, but his dad has just died of an illness. I'm not going to say what. His dad has just died, and it has taken an effect on him, but he's very good at hiding it because we don't see that become a forefront issue, is the fact that his dad is not with him anymore. But then he is focused on getting girls, but he's also very sweet, just like Gwen. Gwen is very sweet despite her rough appearance. But then we have Tom, who's very sweet and very caring, and he wants to help the people of his town be able to survive in a world without oil. And then the weather factor comes into play. While all these people are trying to solve their problems, a weather factor comes in, and it is a super hurricane that totally destroys the town of Sage Valley where these 3 characters live, and it really becomes a problem. And Gwen finds a way to save herself from the horrible aftermath of this super hurricane. And I'm not going to say what because it was pretty awesome, I think. And then it was just the way that the story played out in 180 pages was very clever. It had a lot of action, and not die-hard action, but just things that kept you thinking in a way of action. Not like gunfights. Yes, there were fights, but not like fighting and killing, but action that made you think, which I think is more important sometimes than action that is Anyway, what I liked about this book, I liked that it was short. It was obviously very short, 180 pages, and it was very thought-provoking. The characters blended nicely with the story, meaning that the characters help fuel the story. Fuel the story. They help fuel the story, and you see it from a bunch of different perspectives. We see it from Gwen, who's seeing the illegal aspects of it. We hear it from Tom, who's seeing the middle class, and Nikki, who's seeing the upper class. It's just very clever how the author did that. What I did not like about this book, and that got under my skin so much, was the lack of adults in this book. There are no adults. Of course, they're parents, but they play no specific role in saving this world without oil. And the government is nonetheless. Throughout this book, there are news articles written, and they talk about the government, but they never show the government's present in the story. So that kind of messed with my head a little bit, and I did not like that part of it. I felt like the government should have done better, but I guess that's what they're saying. In 10 years, our government's not going to care enough about us, and it's going to come down to the kids to save the world. Oh my gosh. Anyway, this book is science fiction. I don't really like science fiction, but I really enjoyed this book, so I definitely recommend it. If you don't like science fiction, you will love this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, which I felt was pretty solid score for this book. I would have given it 5 stars, but it seemed like a 4-star book to me. I would recommend this to anybody who wants to think about the world that our world is coming to. Yes, I thought this was a really good book. You should definitely go check it out. So that is all for my book review of Empty by Suzanne Wynn. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.